Today we're going to be talking about understanding browser pop-ups. So browser pop-ups are small windows that appear while browsing the internet. They're used for ads, alerts, or warnings. They're often associated with malware or other harmful effects. However, they are not exclusive to being harmful. There can be some good ones. This presentation explores their types, risks, and safe use. So today we're going to go over what are pop-ups, how do pop-ups work, identifying pop-ups, and managing pop-ups. So first, what are pop-ups? Pop-ups are browser windows or overlays triggered by websites. They're used for messages, alerts, forms, or advertisements. They can appear as separate windows or embedded as one page on top of another. They can be useful or disruptive depending on design and intent. And today we're going to talk about telling the useful ones from the disruptive ones. So here are some common types of pop-ups. The legitimate ones are login forms, support chats, or cookie notifications. These are also some of the most common that you can see if you just kind of go on any website. There are promotional ones like discount offers, newsletter signups, surveys, or any promotional content. And then some of the bad ones are fake alerts, phishing scams, or any form of malware pop-ups or prompts. And then there's something called pop-unders, which open behind the active window and often go unnoticed. So how do pop-ups work? How they are made. Pop-ups are created using JavaScript or HTML in a web page's code. They can be triggered by events like pages loading, you scrolling, or button clicks. Pop-ups may open new tabs or windows or overlay content onto your screen. They're controlled through browser settings or scripts. When and why they are used. Marketers use pop-ups to capture attention or collect emails. Websites use them for alerts, confirmations, or support. Some sites misuse or abuse them to mislead or scam users. These are some of the bad ones that we'll be talking about in a minute. And then timing and frequency affects how users respond to them. So identifying pop-ups. Here are some signs of a legitimate pop-up. It can be legitimate if it comes from a well-known or trusted site and is asking for relevant information. It can have professional design and clear messaging. It would match the purpose of the website, for example, a checkout prompt. And they usually have an easy way to close or dismiss them if they're legitimate. And here are some examples on the side of some pop-ups you might get. And then some red flags for suspicious pop-ups. These are some things to look out for, such as alarming messages like your device is infected, or poor grammar, incorrect spelling, odd formatting, or broken images. And then they might also have fake logos or mismatched web addresses. They could also request for personal information and stress the urgency of the action. And these are some signs that you should not click on that pop-up. And there are some more images of some pop-ups you might get if they're bad. So how to manage pop-ups. There are built-in browser tools. Most browsers block pop-ups by default, such as Safari and Chrome have built-in protection. And then users can allow or block pop-ups for each site by clicking accept or X. And then settings found under privacy and security in your settings can help browser menus. And then you can adjust permission for specific sites if needed. There's also extra protection measures that you can take, such as using ad blockers or anti-malware browser extensions. And then you can always make sure your browser and software are up to date. And do not click on suspicious pop-ups. You can just exit the page completely. And then you can clear cookies and browsing data regularly. So in conclusion, what are pop-ups, the types and specific basic purpose, how they work, technical behavior and usage, identifying pop-ups and spotting good versus risky, and managing pop-ups, tools and safe practices. Thank you for listening.